Welcome to another edition of Moorish World TV. Site just went. Come with us.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. This is Brother Barry Shabazz Bey. I have a question for you, Brother Tariq.
Come with it.
Give us a little background. It's a thing that I think we need to address, or even understand, however you care to put it. Do you ascribe to the Treaty of Peace and Friendship that is used, or that has been used recently, that the Moorish brothers are running around connecting with this particular treaty, and they don't even understand the history of Morocco during the time of the treaty, but they're saying that they're a part of this treaty? What is your observation or about it?
This is a rhetorical question. For all those who claim that this treaty is legitimate, show us one win. See, in law, the first thing that we have to pay attention to, that if we're going to use the law, we got to find a source that represents a win in the law. So I'll say this. Most Moors romanticize. They got a Roman mind. I'm talking slick now. They romanticizing the legitimacy of a document that don't even pertain to them.
Right. That's what the impression that I was under.
So one of the first teachers, and I say one because there was a few, but one of the first teachers to teach Moorish Science was Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Right? He was one of the first ones to teach, and he was one of the first to organize around the idea that we are Moors.
Correct.
That doesn't mean that it wasn't other people here talking it, but he was one of the first to organize around it. Now, and when he organized around us being Moors and using nationality, religion of Islam as a vehicle for liberation, out of all the years he taught, we don't see one reference to the friendship treaty.
Right, and very well put.
Not one.
That's true. That's very well put. I've never seen.
So why are you talking that you represent Prophet Noble Drew Ali? If he's a prophet, now listen, people don't have to follow Prophet Noble Drew Ali. They only have to acknowledge that he's a prophet of God. Right. However, you have to use that standard. You feel what I'm saying? You have to use that standard to verify your position when you claim to follow Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So my question is, show me one reference where he referenced the friendship, the peace and friendship treaty thing.
Where's Morocco?
It doesn't exist. Morocco is in Northwest Africa last time.
Is Morocco here in the United States?
Listen, that's the most pseudo teaching that you ever gonna get from these people claiming to be Moorish. That's the most pseudo, outlandish, ridiculous teachings. Morocco has always been in Northwest Africa. Before Morocco, it was there you go. So the whole idea that this is Al-Morocco, I'm gonna debunk that in a lecture here. In fact, I'm gonna debunk it so bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna debunk it so bad. I'm gonna show you where they got it from.
Did Noble Drew Ali ever teach that this was Morocco?
Never. But I'm gonna show, what I'm gonna show is how they convoluted, remixed, and flipped the teachings in order to suit their purpose. And one of the originators of that, unfortunately, is Taj Tariq Bey. He is the brother who spearheaded this teaching that this is Al-Morocco, that this is a Mexum. Check this out. Check this out. He says that Taj Tariq Bey, that's my brother, love him. Yeah, love him. Beautiful soul. Yeah, beautiful. If anybody ever met Taj Tariq Bey, you would know that this is a beautiful brother. That's true. I agree 100%. And he believes everything that he's saying. But it's one thing that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali says, and you're going to keep hearing me quote the Prophet Noble Drew Ali because I'm a Moorish American Muslim to the bone. He said that belief is what a man think is true. Belief is what you think is true. To know the truth, you must be the truth. So now, Taj is at the crossroad of showing and proving. So, when we look at this being Al-Morocco and this being Morocco and all that, why haven't all these years have we seen one shred of evidence that this is Morocco? Right. So here's where the remix comes. In the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Prophet Noble Drive, he said, the dominion of the Moors extended from northwest, southwestern shores of Africa over the great Atlantis, even into the Americas. So in other words, it's saying that we were here before Europeans. You know what I'm saying? And the Prophet called these areas the Moroccan Empire. You know what I'm saying? Saying we was here before the Europeans. Where they go wrong at is this. You're dealing with an empire, and today we're dealing with a state, like New York State of Mind. So the empire concept is everyone has their own individual identity, but it's all a conglomerate in one. So for instance, the Roman Empire extended all the way from Rome, even into Turkey. To Constantinople. But the culture in Constantinople was totally different from the culture in Rome. But they were still under the Roman Empire. So the Moroccan Empire is the same way. Although you have indigenous, this is where the indigenous thing come from too. They steal it from the Moorish, and they went the Aboriginal concept that's popular now. It comes out of the Moorish concept. It comes out of the Moorish concept because the Prophet Noble Ali in the lesson saying that we were here before the Europeans. You see what I'm saying?
So people are saying, the majority of us, a lot of us are saying that we are Indians. With no proof.
Are you saying that we're Indians? Hold on. See, we got to clarify.
Okay, let's clarify.
When someone say that we're Indians, what exactly are we saying? Are we saying that we're Indians of India or Indians of the indigo? What are we saying? See, this is how I try to dismantle what people are talking about. First, we got to know what we're talking about. If a person tells me, say I'm in India, I need you to tell me, what does that mean? Because according to Columbus, I mean, one minute he said he looked like Ethiopians, and then another minute he said they looked like Indians. So I mean, according to Columbus, so I need to know what you're talking about. Now, once you can clarify what you're talking about, then we can go from there. But I say this, most people don't have a clue what they're talking about. I mean, because if you're calling yourself an Indian, then you might as well call yourself a Negro. In all intents and purposes. Because this is a term that was placed on the people of the Americas that didn't call themselves that. It's just like when somebody say about a Moor, right? And say, well, Moor mean black, and you know, the European called you Moors. I debunked that years ago. Moor don't mean black. Moor means Westerner. It's for those who went west. And when you study the etymology of the term, and Taj like to use etymology, when you study the etymology of the term Moor, N-A-U-R, hence Mauritania, when you study that, you find out it does mean the one that went west. And when the Europeans came to North Africa, and these people was dark, dark as this here, they associated more with black. They begin to associate that. But the indigenous people of North Africa never seen themselves as that. They use black as a adjective for the noun. And they said more black people. And then they caught. That's why you would have, think about it, in the English language, black or more.
Yes.
How can more mean black, but then they say black or more? You're saying black or black? It doesn't make sense. But what you're saying is black Westerner, or one who went west, because the migration patterns through all history tells you that all light come from the east. The people came from the east and migrated west, and that's where you get the term Moor, Maori, Westerner. You know, and Strabo is one of the ones that came there and says that that's right. He came there and said these people called themselves Maori, and so it's a misinformation and a misunderstanding to think that Moor means black because a European defines and makes a dictionary. Moor don't mean black, but when he's seen dark-skinned people, when he's seen dark-skinned people, and he seen their name was Moor, he made the association. You follow me?
Are you familiar, historical-wise, with a writer named Gibbons, who wrote the book The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire?
No.
Well, in the book, and I think it's the second book, I want to say it's the second book, he deals with the Romans and the Moors battle, from the Maghreb, the West. Not this West.
Oh yeah, I got you. I don't mix the two.
Yeah,
I don't mix the two.
But this is the problem.
I don't mix the two.
You don't, but this is what the major problem is. People are mixing.
This is the reason why I don't mix the two. When we study the prophet's teachings, Prophet Noble Drew Ali teachings, if he wanted to make that association and mix the two, of all places that he traveled to, that we can confirm, was Cuba and Mexico.
Right.
Why didn't he go to Morocco?
That's a good question.
Why didn't he go to Saudi Arabia? Why is people lying talking about he went to Egypt? Why is people lying talking about some Muslim in Arabia gave him a name, Sharif Abdul? Come on, show and prove. Show and prove. You fronting. Show and prove. See, what it is slavery has gotten our minds so messed up that we think somebody else that don't look like us can confirm our greatness for us. You see what I'm saying? We think that our Arab water is wetter than ours. So our Arabs say Islam means this, and Prophet Noble Drew Ali say, no, Islam just means peace. What you talking about? They say, no, the Arab says that the Islam means that you got to pray like this, you got to cover your wife up, you got to do that. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali say, no. Islam simply means peace. And then one will say, well, yeah, he's right, but... and then they add on to it. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the question that people need to ask themselves. If Prophet Noble Drew Ali, for one, he's a historical figure that people don't take notice to. You ain't even got to recognize him as a prophet. Recognize him as a historical figure. And then compare what you know of him as opposed to what's said about him.
Now, what's interesting is I have the postcard. A lot of people didn't realize that he and Marcus Garvey had a relationship.
Right.
And I have the postcard that Sister
Pearl,
yeah. And I have that particular postcard of them corresponding, saying how he was going to visit. And also in the, I want to say it's the 1928 or 29 paper, he talks about going to visit Marcus Garvey on his road trip to the West. Down south, I'm sorry, pardon. So it was very interesting that they never give the credence that Noble Drew Ali actually went to visit and also knew Marcus Garvey.
Well, this is what it is. Now, you know, I take a strong stance on defending, representing the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I feel as though the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is just as normal as your everyday walking life. Most people try to, I make up new words, cultify it. Like you got to dress a certain way, you got to talk a certain way. You know what I mean? Islam, brother, peace, brother, all that old goofy stuff. Nah, I see Prophet Noble Drew Ali, as he calls it, an Islam brother with the American experience. Like we're not going to take away from our American experience. You know what I'm saying? We like Jordans. You see what I'm saying? That's the American experience. You know what I'm saying? The way that we talk, the way I'm moving my hands right now, that's the American experience. And so I don't take none of that from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I say all that to say this. Prophet Noble Drew Ali lends a form of liberation to our people that if used very quickly, we'll be out of the situation. Somebody don't want that to happen. So when you look at Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he says Marcus Garvey is his forerunner. Many people think forerunners, John the Baptist, you know what I mean, from the Bible perspective. But let's just say, although we got evidence to say, yeah, they knew each other, let's just say he didn't. Let's use that argument. Marcus Garvey organized more people than any one of us have ever seen in history. So when we're talking about forerunner, why not look at Marcus Garvey as an example of how to organize our people?
That's right.
Even if you don't even believe they met, how about use his example without the internet, without a cell phone, without a computer, organizing millions of us? That alone
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, and then you will see why Marcus Garvey is so significant. You see what I'm saying? And then you can go. I got a book that I got. It's the Prophecies of Marcus Garvey.
Right.
And I went through. I painstakingly went to every quote of Marcus Garvey, and I found quotes that could be associated with Prophet Noble Ali. Like, the Negro won't be happy until he have his own nationality. Like, I am the John of this time. You know what I mean? Things like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And we look at Prophet Noble Ali, he said, as John was to Jesus, Marcus Garvey is to me. But again, just say they didn't meet. Any member that claims to be a Moor, instead of talking about these UCCs, instead of talking about how to get over in court, instead of talking about this is Al-Murak, why you ain't moving trying to organize like Garvey? Because you don't believe in that for real.
Right.
You want some ego hype in front of that mic. You don't believe in that for real. And if you say you believe in Prophet Noble Ali, why in a short 3 years Prophet Noble Ali goes from a crate, you know what I'm saying, to a multi-million-dollar religious corporation priding itself on civics.
That's right.
And civics doesn't mean dealing with law. Civics mean politics and law.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand. That's not one thing. People believing that when you talk civics, you're gonna pull out Black Law's dictionary. That's only a part of civics.
Part of civics, right.
The majority of civics dealing with politics. That's real civic. Your civic duty.
Right. Your civic duty.
What's your civic duty? Right. To be active in politics. Because locally, if we are the majority here, we could take over this time.
Right.
And politically.
Robert Warren says that all the time. Robert Warren says that all the time.
That is a fact. And so when people talk about Prophet Noble Ali, and they are not talking the things that Prophet Noble Ali gave us the clear example of, get out of here. So that's why I'm here now. I'm gonna shut it all down. I'm unapologetically.
Hey, brother. What did the brother tell you about the truth? Sometimes what? The truth must combat what?
Combat that lie.
Combat that lie.
Yeah.
Or that story.
Or that story. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And then I think the difference, like we talking right now, but everything that I'm saying to you, I will have on that screen for you.
That's fine.
You understand what I'm saying?
I believe you, brother.
So, and that's the difference between me and a lot of people. I was reviewing, since we talked yesterday, I was reviewing some of the things that Taj had said here. And one thing that I noticed, he just get up and start talking. Maybe 10 minutes of his talk, or 15, 20 minutes tops, do he show something. But majority of the time, it's a conversation.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm not into the powwow.
I've had some travels with Taj, and I've been in certain sessions with him where he has used footage.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah.
And
absolutely.
But by and large, for some reason, maybe down here, he doesn't use it.
Well, no. By and large, what has happened, he's got comfortable and he's convinced that people just gonna believe what he say.
Oh.
No, I'm not giving no passes.
Okay.
See, one thing, it's Reverend Chickenfoot. See, at some point, Reverend Chickenfoot can just say, "Ha, the Lord is coming."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the organ can play and people start dancing. You know what I'm saying? At some point, the rap ain't got to read no Bible.
Right.
For what?
Right.
He ain't got to say the
people
book. He ain't got to do that for what?
You know what to say to get him
He
going.
did that.
Right.
So he got comfortable. And I say this to his statesman position, to his position of being a statesman. He's getting older too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's getting older too. But that don't protect you from a lie.
Right. That's true.
That don't protect you from a lie. You know what I mean? So in short, this is not Al-Murak. I can prove it. The people here are not Indians.
Right.
I can prove it. I mean, unless they can show me something else. Because I'm going to show you why you are not Indian. In fact, I can show you what they call themselves, and not one time can we find them calling themselves Indians.
That's right. All right. I agree.
Not one time. Not one time. Even when you look at the European giving compensation
Right.
to the Europeans, because these are European claiming.
Right. $5 in.
Yeah. Even them, you know what I mean? They know better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All they did was take a page out the European Jew book. They claimed something that they not,
That's
got
right.
paid for it, kept it moving.
Put themselves on the dog's roll and
There you
kept on
go.
rolling.
And now, I don't know if our people claiming Indian thinking that they're going to the bank with it, but they can forget about that.
Yeah.
Because you ain't going to the bank with that Indian title.
No.
That's already taken.
Yeah, they'll tell you that.
Come on, give me a few more before my wife say, come on.
Come on, gas and something, bro. You don't want to always.
Y'all ready for this lecture?
Yeah. We always ready.
Y'all got a date?
We're gonna wait. I'll cut this part out, but we're gonna wait till Red Pill is supposed to confirm next Saturday. If he don't confirm, I'm gonna take next Saturday.
Oh, that's sooner?
I'm ready.
Oh. Oh, okay. You got more people from that.
Yeah, I'm ready. I can make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I can make it happen. But what would you if I came here and taught some things? What is specifically from a Moorish perspective?
I mean, my thing is, like you said, you're gonna debunk a whole lot of stuff because, you know, being down here and some other people I know, I hear other Moorish stuff that
Rhetoric.
I'm like, I just want to see when you put that stuff up and debunk stuff and say what's true and what's not.
Yeah, and this is the thing. When most time when these Moors talk about law, you actually can look it up.
Oh, no
So
question.
I don't know how they get away with this.
They
Like
put,
you can really look.
they put stuff on the internet and they never play stuff all the way through. They never say how it came out in court or anything else.
I asked you this. Any Moor call themselves Moors and talk about civics is law and they're using this to exact their freedom or whatever the case may be. Why can't we never find no win?
Right.
Why can't we ever find no win? Like for instance, if you say that your social security number is worth this amount of money,
Right.
why you can't show me the check?
Well, the funny thing, I'm gonna go back to some.
You know what I'm talking
No, I
about? The
definitely
redemption,
understand. Redemption
the
process.
redemption process. Like if you tell me my birth certificate is worth this much money on the stock market, show me the check so I can get mine.
Right.
Why you keep saying this year after year? We hear Taj say it. We heard Taj say that many times. We heard the people that follow Taj say that the birth certificate is sold on the stock market is worth this, and you can cash out if you do this, and
Cash out.
Yeah, they say that the birth certificate is worth millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard that they said we were
Yeah, but
trading,
you can- and
but
other-
I never heard that we personally could cash out.
Well,
Yeah.
well, they used to have a website, infidelity.com. You used to go to it and type in your social security number, and the social security number would actually tell you if it would come up money, how much you were being traded for. There's another website, and I'll give it to you. Leave.
I'm gonna tell you what that's all about too. Whether we like it or not, this is not about whether we like something or not. Whenever you are in a government always use collateral.
Right.
They use bodies, they use resources in the earth, minerals, and they use the minerals, the people, and they use their commerce.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They use that. It doesn't matter because if it doesn't matter to the government is saying like, okay, we're trying to keep this economy going. We want $1 billion from China.
Right.
We got this amount of people. These people pay taxes and they will pay your money back.
Right.
That's what that's all about. You know what I'm saying? But people acting as if, oh, they're using you for this or that. Like, if we had our own government, just say we had a 5-people government, and everyone had a job and a source of income, and we say we wanted to expand, And we say these 5 people, we can put it on a lower scale. These 5 people is able to return this amount of money at this amount of time. And they say, okay, we'll take this amount of money. That's just how it works. Until we establish ourselves as an independent community, government, etc., that's just what it is.
How should we be established?
In order to establish ourselves, first we gotta start with an organization that understand how government works first. You know what I'm saying? It gotta start with an organization. And the organization have to be so messed up, and this is the part that people don't like. We have to be accountable to a central authority. The central authority is the system of how we supposed to move, not the individual.
Right.
The individual that expressed the central authority is only a figurehead. Just like that's right. Without that, we have nothing. You know what I'm saying? We have to have a central. Just like when you look at the Pan-African ideal,
Right.
It's a great idea, but who's the central authority? Who is governing the masses? You see what I'm saying? See, the whole world is governed by a central authority.
Right.
Every country has a central authority. Every tribe has a central authority. You can go into the jungles of North America. I mean, in South America, wearing loincloth. Somebody's a chief. You see what I'm saying?
Satan.
Yeah, somebody's a chief. But that chief only expressed the concerns of the people. And so until we as a people here in America and in anywhere around the world, until we realize that, and we start with an organization, and then we can metamorphose into a nation, we really ain't going nowhere.
But do we need to expose all these other side fights that we have that I would say exclude us from becoming what you just spoke?
Well,
because
no.
we have people now within our ranks or within our community, they see themselves as other things first before they see themselves as black.
Well, what you do is you build on this side and expose on that side. You can do it simultaneously. You see what I'm saying? You build your organizational structure. That's why I'm a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America. We build our organizational structure and our goals, everywhere we going, every place that we going, what we need to do, our schools, our food, our everything. We build over here, but we dismantle over here. You see what I'm saying? So we do it simultaneously. Like I'm a Grand Sheik, so I'm over here building over here, but I'm dismantling over here. And I use social media to dismantle because on social media is where everybody is swindling everybody.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Nobody is swindling on the grassroots no more. You know what I'm saying? When they do come on the grassroots, it's because they started on social media in this day and time. And so when you go on Moorish World TV, you see I'm tearing them apart. I'm tearing them apart because that's where the recruiting to be swindled at.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So that's what we got to do. We got to build over here and tear that down over here. And we got to do it at the same time.
Now, another question for you. Why most Moorish Science temples don't teach the history, the early history of the Moors, from West Africa through Senegal, through that whole region, historically? Why do you think most people don't teach it?
I think most people don't teach that history because they feel as though, and this is just what I see, they feel as though it's a compromise between the Islam of those Moors and the Islam of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Okay.
So when you look at the Islam of those Moors, they more have of an Eastern persuasion and expression of Islam. But what they don't know in their ignorance, what they don't know is that every country that practice Islam practice according to their cultural overtones and their expression.
Right.
Chinese don't express Islam like Egypt. Egypt don't express Islam like Asia. Indonesia don't. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so the Moorish American does not express Islam like an Arab. You see what I'm saying? But Moorish Americans, because they're so disillusioned, and I call a spade, many of them are so disillusioned that they think that they're gonna cut their foot off if they talk about ancient Moors or Moors across the water. When in fact, I teach that our form or expression of Islam is the most elevated form. I teach this past Friday in our Holy Day service that when Allah say be to a thing and it is, I teach you are that Allah that says be. Because a part of Allah is in you.
Right.
part of God is in every human being.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you think a thing, you can bring it into existence. And so an Arab may look at that. Allah says to a thing, be and it is. He's thinking about something out in the clouds and the cosmos. When the Moorish Americans say Allah said be to a thing and it is, we're talking about the spirit of God in you. You thinking it and you bringing it into the manifest. We do it all the time. Man, I need to get a job. Before you know you're working. But we always try to spook things out. And so Moors, so disillusioned, they can't make the association. They, even the ones that dress up, brother, you ever seen them with the Joker shoes curled up at the front? I ain't doing none of that. I ain't doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? Prophet Noble Ali called those things costumes. He said, if you read the history of Prophet Noble Ali, he said Moors will be in a parade and they will be wearing their Moroccan costumes. He called them costumes. And when people think, they think costumes as it relates to the European persuasion of what Halloween and the costume is. But what costume is just, there's a design that's stuck in time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so Moors will be wearing fashions that's stuck in a time period. You know what I'm saying? But we in a new era of time now. I ain't got to do all that. But nevertheless, I can look at yesterday and see how it's elevated today.
There's something I want to bring up. There was some talk a little bit one time that the fezzes that the Moors wear were Shriners.
Good goodness gracious.
And they said that Noble Ali, if you ever looked at his fez, never was the big Shriner fez.
Right.
That his fez was more closer to what is called a tarboy than it was a fez. Do you have any?
In Moorish history, there's 3 different types of fez. Let me first say, the Shriner is not the originator of the fez.
Okay.
That's first and foremost.
Okay.
We can kill that off the top.
Okay.
They're not the originator of the fez.
Okay.
Neither is the Turks the originator of the fez. The Shriner didn't, in America, the Shriner didn't even adopt the fez until the 1400s.
Right.
The Moors had been in existence way before then.
Right. Okay.
So we alleviate that.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with the Shriner fez. You got 3 different sizes of fezes. You actually have more than that. But the main 3,000 fezes, 3 different sizes of fezes. The one that the Prophet Noble Ali wear is what we would call a statesman fez. So you have you ever seen, if you Google it, just say Africans with tall fezes? Some of them like this.
Right.
You ever seen it before? If you can Google it, you might can find it. They got tall fezes. Those fezes are more community type fezes. Those, and then you got the middle-sized fez. Those are more of the teacher ones.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? But then you got the statesman fez. And those are the fezes with the Turks adopted.
Okay.
Remember, the Turks was using beys as governors.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Statesmen. So what you see Prophet Noble Ali is, you Googled it? So what you see what Prophet Noble Ali has on, he has on a statesman fez.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with a shrine.
Okay.
Great,
Great.
He was a statesman.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? And then when you get, as the fez get bigger, you're dealing with like a more of a spiritual leader, a grand sheik type of fez. I got the small, what my wife told me the other day, I think we was going somewhere, she said, why you got on that small fez? It was like, but I said, it's a lean fez. It was my son fez, actually. You know what I'm saying? I said, it's a lean fez, but it's actually a statesman fez. And then I got a taller one. You know what I'm saying? That's when I'm holy day teaching the spiritual teachers.
Okay.
Most Moors, I'm telling you, in the Moorish Science Temple of America, this is news to them today.
Right.
When I've uploaded, this is news to them. Because these grand sheiks have not done their due diligence.
Okay.
They haven't done their due diligence. So, the Shriner, literally, a little bit about the Shriner, the European Shriner, he actually adopted the cherry red fez. If you ever see me online, you won't even see me with a burgundy fez. I don't rock no burgundy fez. I rock a cherry red fez. Simply because our flag is red.
Right.
Simply because it is witnessed when they seen Prophet Noble Ali, he had a blazing red fez. You feel what I'm saying? But now, all of these are our fezes. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
All of them are ours. But the first fez that the Shriner adopted was the cherry red fez.
Okay.
Originally. They changed within 100 years to the wine red fez.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with you. Beautiful, bro.
But when they changed to the wine red fez, they changed to the wine red fez because the Turks was wearing the wine red fez. And that wine red fez, they was governing with the wine red fez. And so these Europeans, you know how they do. They adopt everything and steal everything we do. You know what I'm saying? And even the European Turks. The European Turks. The fez originally, people think the Fez originally come from Fez, Morocco. Right. When in fact, the Fez actually originate in a land called Fezzan in Tunisia. You see what I'm saying? It's a little spot in Tunisia. Maybe he could Google it, called Fezzan. That's originally where it comes from. F-E-Z-Z-O-N, I think it is. And it comes from, and that's where the original word come from, the original origin of the word. And then when they traveled from there, because you know, the Moors came out of Egypt.
Fair, no question.
And then they came across that corridor of North Africa.
Right.
And then stops along the way, Prophet Noble, they say they established kingdoms.
Right.
One of the kingdoms was in Tunisia. I think it's Tunisia or Tunis. Okay. And so that's where the town of Fezzan. And then they moved to what we know as the Maghreb.
I have a question. The cherry tree story.
False.
The cherry tree story. That's one of the big stories of the, you know, there is a cherry tree street where George Washington lived on in New York. During that battle with the Lenape people. But it's funny that a lot of Moors would ride with that story about the tree. Can you explain that, brother?
All right. So the story goes that George Washington said, I cannot lie. I cut down the cherry tree. They attribute the cherry tree to the Moorish flag.
Right.
Because the Moorish flag is a red flag with a 5-pointed green star in the center. Now, in folklore, that sounds good. But in history, to define and find exactly that point in history, it's no good.
Okay.
It's no good. And this is why it's no good. What did George Washington mean in context of what he was saying? We don't know. We simply don't know. In fact, the United States wasn't even really established with George Washington.
That's right.
So why would he have to cut one nation down when he wasn't even established for real? When it comes to us, an establishment of the United States and the role that we play in this, man, they don't come to the 1800s.
Right. That's right.
They don't really come into the 1800s. The 1600s, you know what I'm saying? We had slaves that was a few here, but when you talk about the establishment of this real government, they were still colonies. They was, I mean, it doesn't even it doesn't add up in history that he would cut off this nation when they still just colonies in the real talk. It doesn't make sense. So, I mean, there is no proof to that. But with that story is George Washington cut down the cherry tree, which is the Moorish flag. He put it in the White House.
Right. That's what they claim.
He put it in the White House. Prophet Noble Ali came with Woodrow Wilson and pulled it out of a cupboard and gave it back to us.
Right.
This is what we doing.
That's what we do.
This is what we doing.
It's nomenclature. Right.
This is what we doing.
This is what we do. Unfortunately.
Now you can see why the Moorish Science Temple of America has not been impactful since the time of the Prophet. Because of these folklore fantasy stories that don't mean nothing.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that because the first time the word U.S. citizen is even used is in a case between Susan B. Anthony versus the United States. So there was really no form of what a U.S. citizen was.
Right.
Another thing that's troubling is white status.
In today's world, not for you.
Can you freeze right here? You're correct. If you go get a book by Ian Haney
Why
Lopez,
you stop me though?
I have to stop you right because I'm gonna let you finish, but I want to get this in it. I tell people to go get this book by Ian Haney Lopez, White by Law. It's the 52 Supreme Court cases that determine the white race.
Absolutely. Let me tell you something. What they don't understand is this. Moors taking this from the teachings of North Africa being defined as white people. You know about that?
Mm-hmm.
But what that was is Europeans were protecting themselves.
Right.
They wasn't calling indigenous Africans white
people.
No. Right. They was like, if you are white North African, in other words, they were talking about those who was remnants of the Roman Empire that was in North Africa.
You know the equivalence to that today
They
is?
wasn't protecting no
White South Africa. That's the equivalent today.
it. They wasn't talking about Africans.
Right.
And when Moors take that, how are you going to take something that they're using to identify their people in North Africa and apply it to yourself? And you say, white is a status, I'm white.
Right.
Like, you looking like a fool out here.
Yeah, and the brothers was running around giving people the SF 181 form. Did you know about that?
Yeah.
And it was scary because the word, the SF 181 form had the word employee in there over 30-something times. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm trying to figure out, if you're going through OPM, that's defining you to get a job.
Right.
Why would you worry about a status on an application that's talking about employment?
Again, I think this all lends itself to muddying the waters so we don't know which way to go. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Infiltration? Infiltration.
Totally infiltration. And I mean, I will go to the extreme measure and say, if a person has been teaching this for 30 years with no results, they might be working for somebody. You can't teach something for 30 years and can't produce no results. Why do we go for that? Why do we go for that? You've been saying this same thing since 1980, whatever. Mm-hmm. And you ain't produced nothing from what you said? There we go back to Prophet Obadiah. Man is known by his words, actions, and deeds. Why don't it line up? Why do we keep listening and entertaining this stuff?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And not until me. Now, people have small circles. I got a little bigger voice. But not until me have someone stood up and said, man, this is garbage.
Right.
Look you in your face and say, this is garbage.
Yeah, I know the time is running a little short, but I got one more question, brother.
Come on.
C. Freeman L.
That's my guy.
Okay.
That's my guy. And let me tell you why I love me C. Freeman L. During the time C. Freeman L was teaching, may he rest in power, during the time that he was teaching, the Moorish Science Temple of America as an organization was dismantled and broke up. Mm-hmm. So what he did was he took the metaphysics, he took the Moorish, took the Moorish, and I only using the term Masonic teachings just so you can understand. But he took the Moorish adapt teachings.
Great,
because that's truly what it is.
Man.
He took the Moorish adapt teachings and he fed it to the public.
Great more.
And now people would try to overlap it with Masonic teachings, but it has nothing to do with Masonic teachings. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He took the Moorish adapt teachings and he fed it to the public. And those who could really hear, they could receive it. Those who couldn't, they wouldn't know what it was about. But there was no Moorish Science Temple of America that a guy like him could thrive in.
That's right.
Because his knowledge superseded this base, worthless knowledge that you have seen people perpetrating, acting as if they was the Moorish Science Temple of America. Why would he take his knowledge in that type of forum, you know what I'm saying, just to be held back? These people went back to church. They still was singing, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the Prophet of Allah. You ever seen them? Yeah. They do that for real. Today, have you seen him? Today, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I said, goodness gracious. What they doing around here? So can you imagine a C. Freeman L sitting in that type of circle?
No way possible.
No way possible. So that brother, if you haven't seen it, Google him. Because I'm going to tell you, he gave some true adapt teachings as it relates to the teachings of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Right. And he's not making his own ideal of what it is. He's telling exactly what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I have a question. And going back to the thing where he was talking about people talking about us being Indians. I had a brother used to be at the barbershop I go to. You know, I'm not sure if he was with the group that came down here, but he used to come down here sometimes and meet with me. And whatever group he was with, as far as us coming from Africa thing, his thing was that we were put on ships here in America, shipped to Africa, and brought back here to make us think that we were from Africa.
Yeah.
How far spread is that through the Moorish community, or is that just certain small sections?
These people crazy, man. These people crazy, man. Was he high?
No, whatever section he was with. That's
You know
what
what's
they
funny
told.
though? When we become conscious, right, we be scared to ask the real questions. Was he on drugs? What wrong with him?
Whatever section he was on, they was teaching that.
Well, it's a guy named Pleasant Bey.
Yeah.
Now, Pleasant Bey got some far-fetched, outlandish teachings also. You know what I'm saying? Pleasant Bey is one of the ones that
Son of a Nation?
Yeah. Garbage book. Garbage book. I can break down every page.
You can't hardly read it. The script is small too.
Yeah, garbage book. But the reason why I say it's garbage, because he claimed to be that it's Prophet Noble Drew Ali's form of a revelation through him. You know what I'm saying? But the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is clear. You know what I'm saying? He's clear that we over here experience slavery, and it's written. They came from Africa.
That's right.
But the caveat to that, they also enslaved those that was here that look like us.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's twofold, but it doesn't even make sense. That's Prophet Noble Drew Ali, but it doesn't even make sense that they're gonna put somebody on a ship and take them to Africa and bring them back. This is the problem, and I'll close with this. This is the problem. Slavery was a business, number one.
Commerce.
Whenever there's a tractor trailer going up the road, they got a bill of lading. Slavery was no different. They got a bill of lading. They can tell you that they came from the Rice Coast, that they came from the Ivory Coast, that they came from this country, they came from they got bill of ladings.
But as he was saying, when people always say, where the slave ships?
Yeah, where the slave ships?
That's what you want to know? I cracked the code. Again, and I would challenge anybody, again. Y'all ready for this?
We're always ready.
People ask where the slave ships. Again, it was commerce.
Thank you.
It was commerce. So when slavery stopped, they used the ships for other things.
One beautiful brother.
They didn't put them in museums. When slavery stopped, they took the ships and they started doing perfumes. They started doing rice. They started doing spices. It was commerce. That'll be just like saying, okay, this is the tractor trailer that we use to transport Mexicans from south of the border to the United States. And then they shut that down and you say, well, what happened to that exact tractor trailer? Well, right now they shipping milk with it. Like, this is the most goofiest conversation that we ever seen. And the thing is about our people, man, we are a divine people. We should be able to intellectually decipher this stuff easy.
It's called supply chain management.
There you go, bro. We should be able to decipher this. We are a divine people. And we allow this European to take us out of our divine state of mind, and therefore we cannot break down and decipher what happened to us. It's all inside us. All we gotta do is think. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, if I can get you to think, you can save yourself. He also says that, I'm of the thought, he says, we have a soul that is of all truth. And you know how I break that down? That I cannot teach you anything. I can only bring out that which is in you. It's in us. All we gotta do is think. Our soul has traveled. Even our physical form, man, we reassemble our physical form. This flesh ain't new. It's just reformed, man. It's in our DNA. All we gotta do is be in tune with our inner higher divine self, and the answer is right there. We can decipher it overnight.
Right. But I know we're closing, but I had to go back to something you said about civics. And I noticed when I first got involved with the Moorish Science, that I noticed that Noble Drew Ali had a constitution.
Absolutely.
He had bylaws.
Absolutely.
And all of that is the establishment of a nation.
Absolutely.
Which fits under the line of civics.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when you look at the divine constitution and bylaws, that is the organization. That is the birth of the nation.
That's right. I agree.
An organization, when you talk about the divine constitution and bylaws, that is the birth of the civics.
But I also thought Elijah Muhammad and them had it on the back of the Muhammad speaks. A constitution. When it says what we Muslims want.
That ain't no constitution.
Tell me what that is then.
That is saying, please give me some land. That's begging.
Okay, brother.
I'm sorry. That's the truth of the matter. Listen, what we Muslim want, we want you to give us this certain amount of land.
Okay.
We think that you should educate us. We think, read the back of a Muhammad speech. This is asking the slave holder to give you something. Read it.
All right, I'm just
That ain't bro. A constitution say this is what we stand for, this is what we doing, who wants some smoke?
Yeah. And that's the preamble. That's one of the great things that I picked up when I first started studying.
Shout out to my NOI brothers. You know I love you, but I got to tell you the truth.
That's one of the first
they get
things
mad at me all the time.
Yeah, I understand, but that's one of the first things I picked up.
Yeah.
That.
When you look at it, man, they asking for stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you look at the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, you look in the Moorish guide, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali say, Moors, would you like your own land?
Yeah.
How many people like your own land? And then they went forward to establish that. You know what I'm saying? And he went to the people. He didn't go to the daggone slave holder that automatically took everything from us. You know what I mean? A lot of our people was in cahoots with, but you know what I mean? He went to the people.
Now, no, we almost finished. The 26th picture of the convention. 29 pictures.
29, yeah, I got you.
Is that Farad Muhammad?
Absolutely not. Farad Muhammad was locked up in San Quentin.
Excuse me, Brian.
He laughed real. That is not no Farad Muhammad. Farad Muhammad was locked up in San Quentin. And to give you the raw truth, I'm of the thought that Farad Muhammad was sent to dismantle the Moorish Science Temple of America.
I believe so too.
And Farad Muhammad was released from San Quentin in I think it was May 1929. He arrived in Detroit.
That's right.
And I think it was September.
Yeah, and 6 months later, after Prophet.
So I believe that Farad Muhammad was sent to dismantle the Moorish Science Temple of America. And not only to mention that, I always tell people, and I close with this with a bomb. I always say that there is no Islamic group that ever referred to their religious place as a temple before the Prophet.
That's true.
So how do Elijah Muhammad or Master Farad Muhammad comes and say they have a lost temple? You ain't never seen no Islam group call their place of worship a temple.
With fezzes on their head.
With fezzes. Not only that. See, I got the real goods. I got them in fezzes, and I got the sisters in turbans. They ain't seen that one yet. And I got Elijah Muhammad teaching from the Moorish questionnaire. And I got Elijah Muhammad saying he's a Moorish American. And I can go on and on. Because before Elijah Muhammad went to jail for sedition or for avoiding the draft, to say, there was no curriculum related to the Nation of Islam in the real sense. What they did was they took the catechism, which is the questionnaire, some affectionately called the 101, and they made their own, which was the 120.
That's right.
Come on, man. It's a dupe.
And even the term Asiatic.
Ain't the term Asiatic. That was not used before Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
That's right.
But before, here's one for everybody. Show me a Elijah Muhammad book that was published in 1930 and 1940. I bet you can't find it. All of his doctrine that formed the Nation of Islam came after prison. What happened in prison? Message to the black man, our Savior has arrived. What happened in prison? Because before that, they was using the Moorish Quran. They was using the Moorish questionnaire. That's right.
No question. Thank you, brother, for
before he went to jail, they didn't have a doctrine.
I agree.
After jail, all of these books come out. What happened in jail?
Well, if you spend time in jail, you think of ways to scheme up to make money.
You said that, and they gonna get you for that. I appreciate you, brother. I'm gonna get my family home. My brother, in 2 weeks, I should be here right here. I should be here. We gonna get busy.
We're gonna get busy.
Hey, brother, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You think they ready?
They better be. That's all I can say. They better be.
Are you a subscriber to Moorish TV?
Not yet, but I've been on it, bro.
You been on it?
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna.
What you think?
Wonderful.
Am I acting up?
Brother, I love you. Keep doing. Hey, man, with Allah's blessings, keep on doing what you're doing, bro.
Well, we're gonna shake it up, and then hopefully in 2 weeks, if the brother fall the red pill, if he falls it, then I'm gonna take that position, and we're gonna set it on. We're gonna set it ablaze. But now let me ask y'all a question: will y'all help me spread the word?
Sure, I will.
So we can fill this room up.
Sure.
What is the web address?
Hmm?
The address
He went to web.
for the audience?
The web app.
He on YouTube on Moorish.
Oh, Moorish TV. Moorish TV. You go to right now. I'm dealing with these fake militia groups that is coming around waving guns and acting like that's anybody familiar with Malik Zulu Shabazz? Yeah. I'm dealing with that right now. He's been 30 years in with no producing of nothing. He got to go to. He got to go to. You don't come in our community talking about F the European, F the cracker, F the pig. Like he's still using the term as pig. Like we still doing that in the 60s. They was the damn pig and that. Like what you doing? You know what I mean? Every time a camera in front of his face. But what have you produced? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no school. Like when you look at the Black Panthers, man, come on. They was feeding children in the morning. The WIC program come out of the Black Panthers. Like what you been doing for 30 years. You feel what I'm saying? They had the Black Panthers actually will go and get the elderly, take them to their apartments. They was really doing something. They was educating the children. They had a newspaper where they was controlling their own narrative. Child care. You got 30 years of doing what? Chasing a camera screaming Black Power? No. Time up.
And when you come, I hope you come before the Grandmaster J verdict, or so that you could give a spiel on that.
I'll come and do a whole lecture of Grandmaster J from the beginning to the end.
Fine.
You want that one? You know I got the whole history of it.
Well,
and then I'm gonna be at the trial.
Okay. So I'd rather for you to wait till after the trial.
Well, I'm gonna cover the state trial.
So you could cover the mood of the people, everything.
Yeah.
I think that would be better. What y'all think?
Okay.
Y'all know I got the whole thing right.
Yeah.
Anybody watch me cover that for a year? I covered it for a whole year.
You went to trial.
No, I covered the movements from the first time that I determined that this guy wasn't right, all the way to the close of it when they pulled him off the scene.
Right.
I covered everything.
Right.
I mean,
the last couple of ones.
I got stuff that I haven't even seen. In fact, I'm hoping to put out a documentary because I got stuff that you just can't put in a.
But here's my issue with you.
Come on with it. I like that.
I need you to put a book out, bro. I need you to put a book out, bro.
You know what?
One of the essence
of a scholar
is to put out a book. This is one of my. It's sort of a criticism of Ashwar Kwesi.
Right.
He has one book, as intelligent, as great, and informative as he is. He should have books out just like his teacher, or his alleged teacher, whatever you want to say, Dr. Yusuf Ben Yaqub.
Right. And you know what? I'm finishing up on like a 200-page book about the history of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It's kind of like a biography. Okay. But then I got a small one that I hope to have out by December. It's called The 12 Missing Years of Drew Ali. That's good. Yeah, The 12 Missing Years of Drew Ali, and this is going to cover. People think his name all his life was Timothy Drew. You know what I'm saying? It's going to cover his real name being Thomas Drew.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And why that was covered up. It's also going to cover how he went through the stages of Thomas Drew to Dr. Drew to Professor Drew to Drew Eli, to Drew Ali, to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And now I named all these names, but you can find this in history. I got the sources.
Now, is the book From Superman to Man from J.A. Rogers talking about Noble Drew Ali?
Nah, I don't think so.
The porter that was on the train?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't think.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I'm trying to put this without saying the same thing a million times. These people be in fantasy world, man. This is what it is, and I'm gonna try to say it different this time. Moors supposed to have the confidence that Prophet Noble Drew Ali is a prophet, supposedly. The public don't have to have that. But when you say you are a Moor and you're a Moorish American, you're saying that this is a prophet. You're saying that this is a prophet semblance to Moses, semblance to Jesus, semblance to all the prophets, Muhammad. That's what you're saying.
Right, that's what you're saying.
This is the thing. Many people got a misinterpretation and a misunderstanding of what the prophets of old did because they romanticized it. And so because Prophet Noble Drew Ali don't say, I walked on water, because Prophet Noble Drew Ali don't say, I parted the Red Sea, people got to make up stuff. You know what I'm saying? Prophet Noble Drew Ali never said he talked to something in a burning bush.
Right.
He never said an angel visited him. So now they got to make up stuff.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? They went into the, what's the name? The Superman, the man. He went into the vault. He went into Egypt. He got lost under the tiger's paw of the Sphinx. And like, what are you talking about? But did they do that? Yeah, he looked at me. But no, that's what they said. That Prophet Noble Drew Ali, they shoved him in between the paws of the Sphinx. And he got lost in the pyramid and then found his way out. And that's how he became a prophet or something like that. Like what? But they make these things up because they still in that Christian state of mind, if you will, where they got to have some type of fantastic story with it. And I tell people all the time, never teach your children that Santa Claus is coming, because they're going to grow up and they're going to believe the most weird, spooky stories that doesn't even make sense, and people will take advantage of them. But that's where they come from, brother. I mean, they see through the lens of a European lens. They need somebody to walk on water. They need a burning bush to talk. They need a cloud to come down with a bearded European saying, I'm going to save. They need that. So they don't get that with Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And so they make stories around Prophet Noble Drew Ali to give him that mystical connotation. When in fact, that's the worst thing that you can do. Because Prophet Noble Drew Ali say, imitate I the prophet. In other words, demonstrate what I'm demonstrating. He ain't give you nothing spooky.
Right.
He ain't give you, just like I said, I'm loud, right? People like, man, you be real loud. If Prophet Noble Drew Ali was standing on a milk crate in an empty parking lot, do you think he'd be talking soft and passive?
No. Who's gonna hear him?
So why you tripping how I express myself? But that's what Moore said.
Right.
You be loud, Mo. I'm gonna continue to be loud. Because I'm real passionate about this, man. They done threw Prophet Noble Drew Ali over the cliff, you know what I'm saying? And Prophet Noble Drew Ali has not been seen since. Right. You know what I'm saying? What we see out here today, that ain't no Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You know what I mean? It's misinformation, disinformation, and somebody getting paid to put it out there.
Oh, no question. There ain't no question about it.
And for my brother Taj Tariq, you got 30 years in with no producing. We need to talk about that. 30 years. Talking about a right to travel and you ain't driving nothing. Stop it. How you gonna teach me the right to travel and you ain't got a car? Y'all think about that? That's my brother. You can't teach me the right to travel and you ain't got a car. At least get a car first.
Right.
You ever notice when somebody get pulled over by the police, he'll pull up, getting out the passenger seat, and then tell them, yeah, it's the Jesuits, and the Jesuits, you know, and this is the license, and this is the instrument. And where your car?
Yeah, this is a commercial venue. You got to, this commerce, you got to drive on these roads. Huh? You got to drive on these roads.
But nobody questioned that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man, I listened to Taj Tariq, and I'm going to use this in my presentation. I'm ready to go at it. I'm going to use this in my presentation. Taj Tariq said, He literally said that the reason why we are messed up is because we eat McDonald's, and McDonald's is selling 2 for $5 burgers, and these burgers are made out of children. Nobody questioned them. He said they kidnap children. This is why the children are missing. They kidnapping children and they making hamburgers. He said that here. Wow. And nobody said a thing.
What was his proof?
Nothing. But the thing is, it's just so outlandish that we being a people of God and we would sit around and just listen to something like that and don't say, brother, hold up, brother. Is there any way you can show me, as you said, proof? No disrespect. Just show me some sort of proof, brother. But man, he kept going. And then people was like, Islam.
They definitely, you know, the white man definitely has a history of eating people.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, for a person that claimed to be a Moor and a Moorish American, and they just throw stuff out there that should
really no evidence.
Yeah. And McDonald's at that. Over 30 billion sold. And McDonald's is garbage. We all know it's garbage. But you just can't throw that out there and nobody question it.
And then don't question Burger King and the rest of it. You know what I'm saying? And then don't question Burger King and the rest of it.
Yeah.
Wendy's, I mean, the rest of it.
But the thing is, he said, this is our problem, though. Like, come on, man. When does it come into play that we say, hold up, what does that have to do with liberation?
Right.
Because ultimately, all of these organizations should be geared towards liberation.
Right.
I don't care if it's the church, I don't care if it's the mosque, I don't care if it's the temple. If it ain't geared towards liberation of a people that been oppressed, it ain't doing nothing.
Right.
So did they latch on like the right to drive and all of the discharging, debt, getting out of jail? Did they attach that to Drew Ali?
Yeah, they tried to, but it doesn't work. It doesn't fit. The reason why it doesn't fit is because
I'm listening to what you're saying about how people attach certain things to properties and
yeah,
whatever.
that's actually a European sovereign citizen doctrine.
Wow.
A totally European sovereign citizen doctrine.
Where it come from?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Prophet Noble Drew Ali. In fact, when you study the history of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and they talk about the first annual convention, and he was having a parade, it said Prophet Noble Drew Ali secured a permit with the city for the parade. So Prophet Noble Drew Ali is not adverse to following and going with the system that's set up. But here is the caveat to that. It's okay to go with the system that's set up as long as you got a program and a plan to come out of it. You see what I'm saying? And Prophet Noble Drew Ali does have a program and a plan to come out of it. And that's the whole thing in a nutshell. Most people are not looking for the program and the plan to come out of it. So they just condemn the whole thing. You know, people haven't studied the Trojan horse enough. You know what I'm saying? You know, when Prophet Noble Drew Ali say proclaim your nationality and you a citizen or whatever the case may be, they don't understand what the Trojan horse is all about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't understand that when Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, this is your government, that at any given moment in the city of Baltimore, where there's 1,500 people in Park Heights, they could take over Park Heights like that, and that could be your councilman.
What you're saying? Same thing.
At any given moment, 1,500 people can take over any small district in any city at any time in the United States.
Local
anything,
like you said.
Anytime. Now, in Baltimore, it's about 14 districts. Majority of them look like us. If everyone take that model right there, they can take the whole city back, and they can put who they want in there. If brother lived in Baltimore, right, and they say, listen, we're going to take these 1,500 people on the midterm election, you going in, bro. Can't nothing stop it. You know what people say, you know how the European played us? Don't tell nobody who you're voting for. They come out there. Who you vote for? Oh,
that's right.
It's like,
when nowadays it's not just that. We're so ignorant of politics.
Of politics.
That we vote by whatever sheet they send to us in the mail. As long as we know that person on the top.
And that person a Democrat because grandma voted Democrat.
Yeah, that Democrat on the top. Oh yeah, I know him or her. Oh, this is the team. I mean, because I had a state senator that used to live in my neighborhood. And he took me under his wing. Because that's basically because I'm like a civic association president in my neighborhood.
You a what?
Civic association president in my neighborhood. And he lived in my neighborhood, so he took me
But
under
when
my
you
wing.
sit up here and listen to these people quote this silly law stuff.
I laugh.
All right.
I always laugh.
I'm just joking.
When those guys had Dr. Rook over here at the table talking about how they gonna handle his federal case.
He better leave that stuff alone.
I was sitting there just laughing.
You know what's funny to me? I don't mean to cut your wisdom. What's funny to me is that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali had 2 attorneys. 2 attorneys.
Yeah, sure did.
You know what's funny to me? That they would say, don't get an attorney.
Yeah, he had 2.
They work for the Jesuits and the da-da-da-da-da. But then you talk about Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, Prophet Noble Drew Ali had 2 attorneys. In fact, one of the attorneys was a state's attorney.
I want to say this to you, Warren, because everybody running for office now. You see the signs up and down the street.
Right.
Everybody taking a crack at it. A lot of Africans, by the way.
Yep.
But also Brooks run the show at the end of the day. Who run the money? So I'm thinking like at this point, these councilmen is just kind of puppets or just in the place because you got to have people in that position.
Yeah, see, the thing with her is, as far as the council, she don't have council people that oppose her because she was that face at the top that everybody knew.
Right.
So when she went to all these different districts and said, this is the person I want you to vote for council, because she know that go right along with everything she did. People went and voted for that person because I know Angela also was.
So she just got who she wanted in there.
Basically, yeah. She had the control. So most people, when they go vote, they don't know the people that.
And this is the problem with that, though.
I'm saying regardless, she
got her
the
team
money.
in.
But this is the thing,
The
though.
only reason she run the money because she got her
She
team
got her
in council.
constituents there.
If she had people in council that oppose her, she wouldn't be able to do anything.
And this
But
even though she's at the top,
Yeah.
she wouldn't have control because the council can debunk what she does. It's just like
I know that
it's
she
just
got
like
power.
Congress.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like
Yeah,
Congress
it's a
and
vote at the
Senate
end of
could
the day.
debunk the president. It's just like the state house could debunk the
Let
government.
me tell you, this is where we go wrong at. Like you was just saying, and you're absolutely correct. On the grassroots level, we don't organize to get all them district seats so we can debunk the tyrant at the top.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, but at the same time, the conservative movement, that's exactly what they do.
Absolutely.
They control everything from the local level to the state government.
That's all we got to do as a people.
That's what
It's
Warren been
game
saying.
over.
That's what Warren been saying all along.
It's game
we've been
over.
saying all
Let me
along.
tell you how I know this. I studied how Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and I'm gonna bring it up to speed, he did the same thing in the south side of Chicago. Every person that he named in the 20s, he put into office, you know what I mean, with the Moors, by taking these certain key positions and getting everybody to vote for the one person. He was naming names. You vote for this one, we vote for this one, we vote for this one. And he put a judge on the seat. You know how we cry about, you know what I mean, we don't get a fair trial. Some judges are elected.
So who was Noble Drew Ali? Because I honestly don't know nothing about
This
it.
is Tahaka Bay.
Yeah.
This brother, Dimitri.
Prophet Noble Drew Ali, I mean, in short, because I got to go, but Prophet
Yeah,
Noble
yeah.
Drew Ali is what we consider to be the prophet for us here in America. In other words, people mystify Prophet Noble Drew Ali, though. You know what I'm saying? He was a person born in the state of North Carolina in 1886, and he began to teach that we are descendants from northwest and southwestern shores of Africa, of the Africans. Yeah,
That's
how
right.
people say, Moors
That's
ain't
right.
Africans.
Yeah.
Moors enslaved Africans. Get out of here. But we descended from northwest and southwestern shores of Africa.
Not slaves.
Huh?
Not slaves.
Yeah, we actually, absolutely, we came through by the way of the slave trade experience, absolutely. But before the slave trade experience, our ancestors dominated the planet.
Yeah, because you know the Moors talk about how we were here already.
Absolutely. But some of that stuff is pseudo too. some of that stuff is pseudo, and I'm gonna do a lecture here about 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
You got security?
Yeah.
Hold up.
My wife got security. Boom.
It's not. Make sure it's not the 20th.
No, I don't know what it is, but he's gonna find out.
Right, we're gonna talk to him like because we're doing the straight black love.
Yeah, you know what you should come to?
Oh, my wife would like that.
Guess what? Ho.
My wife would like that.
Hey, irritated Genie doing a straight black love.
My wife.
You bring your wife and everybody come on down.
Yeah.
You get a chance.
It's
On the
a-
20th.
You got it.
We're gonna send it to you.
Who is my contact?
Jay is your contact. We're gonna get it to you.
That's my contact.
Okay, Jay, your contact. We're gonna get it to you.
Yeah, me and my wife will come down.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
brother Demetrius' brother, Tariq Bey.
Yeah. Brother, I'm telling you, I'm gonna give a 3. I don't know if I can get 3 hours.
But you know, yeah, you probably can. But you know what though? You know what's funny though?
I'm
gonna make sure these brothers get us brothers get a temple card too, bro.
You trying to be a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America? You trying to uplift the acts about people?
I am.
Let's get it then.
Okay, we'll get to it.
Let's get it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna outline, and the way that I do it, man, you won't be disappointed. You're an avid watcher of Moorish World TV? Yeah. So when I do my presentation, I ain't talking about my interviews. When I do my presentation, I don't leave one stone unturned doing. I don't leave one stone unturned. So at the end of the day, man, I want to make sure that people understand that Prophet Noble Ali is not this mystified character,
which people have made him out to be.
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah, because I don't know much about him, man.
That's all right. I got you. And yeah, I got you. And
I've been knowing his name for years. But I know
and what you may have heard about him has been misrepresented too.
I really. Nah,
I just
know his name.
Right.
Like I told when I was in African American Museum.
We told me that this week.
Right.
Said, they got you mentioned Noble Ali.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Well. My thing is one of my mission is to finish my book and actually get it into schools, get it into libraries, and get it everywhere from a historical perspective. Because most people who talk about Prophet Noble Ali, they always got to put him on the religious perspective or some mystical, weird, Masonic, and I just want the historical perspective to the public.
So are you gonna have a teaching guide?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm just coming. I just taught for like 3 hours. This is what I do. This is what I do.
Time running.
Yeah, this is what I do.
Road too late, bro.
But I got you. We gonna do it. He asked me that I want to come every week. I don't know.
No, because see, Jenny used to do every Monday night.
Right.
So he's like, you want to come every week?
But the hard part for me is because I teach on Friday and then I teach on Sunday and then I teach classes during the week.
Don't burn yourself out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Especially you coming down the road.
Don't do that, bro.
No, I told him I try to do once a month.
That may be, but even if you can't do that, you gotta be conducive for her and the little.
Right.
That's what's important.
Absolutely.
All right. Then, if you can find some time to come here, it would be all right.
Well, I'm gonna set it on.
It's okay.
I'm gonna set it on fire.
Yeah. So you set it on fire, and that's your contact, brother Jay. Your contact.
And my wife would love the irritated genie demonstration.
The picnic, right? I mean the cookout. What is it?
Yeah, August 20th.
The straight, because she got a problem. Because she got a problem with them people, man.
What?
The people, the rainbow people.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She got a real problem with the rainbow people.
Yeah, we good.
I tell her leave them people alone.
It'd be great to come too.
We guess, but at the picnic, we're not gonna be talking about. It's just gonna be a thing of black people getting together, all straight black people having fun.
No rainbow flags.
No.
I'm just joking. No, but I'm looking forward to it. So family, I appreciate you, family. We gonna set a new goal. We're gonna try to wake people up to the teachings of the Prophet Noble Ali. I want you to get more questions for me.
I sure will.
I want y'all to get more questions for me. Do some research, ask me anything, and I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure that I got the research to back up my answers. All right?
Peace.
Yeah, and that's.